Imagine chemotherapy without hair loss, without extreme fatigue, without the collapse of the immune system. Imagine a cancer treatment that is, in fact, a microscopic precision surgical mission, a task force of robots, 1,000 times smaller than a grain of sand, navigating your bloodstream with a single goal: to find and destroy a tumor, ignoring all healthy cells along the way. It sounds like science fiction, but this exact scenario has just become reality. A swarm of nanorobots was injected, guided by magnets, and completed its mission in a live test. Medicine as we know it is about to change forever. Hello, explorers of the future. Welcome to the channel where we dissect the technologies that are rewriting our tomorrow. What happens when biology and engineering collide on a nanometric scale? For decades, the idea of miniature robotic doctors, as in the movie Fantastic Voyage, was just a dream. The challenge seemed insurmountable. How to build something so small, how to power it, and, most difficult of all, how to pilot it through the chaotic and turbulent maze that is the human circulatory system. Today, we're going to dive deep into the discovery that finally cracked that code. Scientists at Caltech have just proven that this is not only possible, but that it could be the biggest revolution in disease treatment in a century. To understand why this news is so monumental, we must first face the brutal reality of our current cancer treatments. Chemotherapy, for example, has been the primary tool for over 50 years. And it works, but at a terrible cost. Chemotherapy is, in essence, a poison. A powerful poison designed to kill rapidly dividing cells. The problem? Cancer isn't the only thing in your body that divides rapidly. Your hair cells, the cells lining your stomach, and, most importantly, your immune system cells all divide at high speed. Chemotherapy doesn't know the difference. It can't distinguish an enemy from an ally. So when a patient receives a chemotherapy infusion, it is the medical equivalent of carpet bombing. The drug floods the entire body, killing the tumor but also devastating healthy tissue. It is a war of attrition, where the hope is that the cancer will die before the treatment causes irreparable damage to the patient. The side effects are, in fact, the collateral damage of this internal war. We lose millions of lives not only to the disease, but to our body's inability to withstand the treatment. Medicine desperately needed a guided missile, but all we had was an atomic bomb. The challenge was delivery. How do you send a lethal poison to a specific address in a city of trillions of inhabitants without contaminating the entire neighborhood? This is where the Caltech team comes in. They didn't try to make the poison smarter. They decided to build the smartest mailman in the world. A microscopic mailman. The team announced the first in vivo test, i.e., inside a living organism, of a swarm of nanorobots designed for drug delivery. And the results are impressive. First, let's understand what these robots are. Forget small metal. Machines with arms and legs. These nanobots are actually small spheres of a biocompatible hydrogel, a material designed to exist inside the body without causing an immune response. Inside each tiny sphere, two crucial elements are incorporated: magnetic iron oxide nanoparticles and the chemotherapy payload. The test was meticulous. Researchers injected millions of these nanobots, this swarm, directly into the bloodstream. Now comes the genius part: navigation. This has been the biggest obstacle for decades, and the solution is surprisingly elegant: external magnets. Here's a simplifying analogy. Imagine that the bloodstream is a vast river with strong currents. The nanobots are like millions of tiny metal canoes. Trying to steer each canoe individually would be impossible. Instead, Caltech scientists used a set of powerful electromagnets outside the body, acting like a giant remote control. They don't control a robot. They generate a focused magnetic field that acts like an EHD artificial current. By adjusting this field, they can literally pull the entire swarm of nanobots against the blood flow, guiding them through the bifurcations of veins and arteries, leading them precisely to the tumor site. In the experiment, that's exactly what happened. The team watched in real time as the swarm traveled through the body and began to accumulate densely in and around the diseased tissue. Once the army was in position, the scientists gave the next command. Using a different type of magnetic field, they made the nanoparticles vibrate. This vibration, or a slight induced temperature change, caused the hydrogel to open up, releasing the concentrated chemotherapy payload. The result? The tumor was hit with a dose of medication dozens of times stronger than would be possible with standard chemotherapy. And most importantly, the rest of the body? It barely noticed anything was happening. Healthy cells remained untouched. Systemic toxicity, the great monster of chemotherapy, was almost eliminated. The implications of this are difficult to overstate. We are looking at the potential end of chemotherapy as we know it. This successful test is a proof of concept that opens up a universe of possibilities. Cancer is just the beginning. Imagine using these same swarms of nanorobots to hunt down and destroy antibiotic-resistant bacteria, delivering an antibiotic payload that would kill the infection without destroying the patient's gut flora. Think of cardiologists guiding a swarm to dissolve a blood clot in the brain of a stroke patient minutes before it causes permanent damage, or even performing microsurgery, where robots equipped with tiny tools could repair tissue at the cellular level, from the inside out. This technology transforms the body from a passive biological system into a navigable operating environment. Of course, with great power come great questions. The scary, or at least complex side, cannot be ignored. We are talking about injecting millions of magnetic robots into the body. What happens to them after the job is done? Although these robots are designed to be biocompatible and biodegradable, the logistics of ensuring that 100% of a swarm of millions of units is safely eliminated from the body is a monumental engineering challenge. And what about the cost? This technology will undoubtedly be astronomically expensive in its early years. How will society ensure equitable access? Who decides who gets the treatment of the future and who gets the carpet bombing of the past? And, inevitably, there is the question of regulation. How do health agencies approve a treatment that is part drug, part device, and part computer software? We begin today by imagining cancer treatment without pain, without devastation. What Caltech scientists have shown us is not just a new tool, it is a new philosophy of medicine. No more brute force, but absolute precision. No longer treating the body as a battlefield, but as a map to be navigated. The line between a pill and a robot has just been permanently blurred. These swarms, navigating our insides, are no longer the stuff of fiction. They are the vanguard of a revolution that will treat disease not at the systemic level, but at the single-cell level. The question this technology leaves us with is no longer, can we do this? But rather, how quickly can we get this to everyone who needs it? The future of medicine is no longer chemical, it is robotic. This discovery has the potential to save millions of lives, starting with cancer. But what other disease or medical condition do you think should be the next target for these nanobots? Where else would this precision make the biggest difference? Leave your opinion in the comments below. If you are as fascinated as I am by this technological revolution, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. The future is coming faster than we imagine, and we will be here to decode it together. See you next time.